rise while I live my life. Balance so bright. I think it, I speak it, and then it appears. Money's my language, I'm fluent and clear. Abundance is normal, this isn't new. I don't chase money, it walks in the room. I'm a money magnet, I don't resist. Everything I want flows straight to this. Cash moves quick, wealth stays mine. Rich in my mind, rich in my life. Multiple streams, my income's wide. Bank account stacked on every side. Opportunities knock, I open with ease. Every contract comes with extra fee. No second guessing, I know what I'm worth. Everything multiplies, never in reverse. Money's attracted, I don't have to ask. It knows where I live and it's here to last. I speak it, and then it appears. Money's my language, I'm fluent and clear. Abundance is normal, this isn't new. I don't chase money, it walks in the room. I'm a money magnet, I don't resist. Everything I want flows straight to this. Cash moves quick, wealth stays mine. Rich in my mind, rich in my life. Every dollar I spend comes back in waves. My wealth expands, it never fades. I own my time, I make the rules. Success follows because I refuse to lose. I'm a money magnet, I don't resist. Everything I want flows straight to this. Cash moves quick, wealth stays mine. Rich in my mind, rich in my life. I wake up wealthy, I rest in peace, knowing my fortune will never cease. Money loves me, we coexist. I am abundance, I was made for this. Abundance, I was made for this. And then it appears. Money's my language, I'm fluent and clear. Abundance is normal, this isn't new. I don't chase money, it walks in the room. I'm a money magnet, I don't resist. Everything I want flows straight to this. Cash moves quick, wealth stays mine.
Hey, who's a money magnet out there? Money is just energy, people. So when you're saying you're a money magnet, it just means you have that electric magnetic abundant sense where you attract. When Yeshua said, I draw all men unto me, that's that energy attraction, because that's all money is, energy. But here we are. Yes. Happy Easter to all my Christian folk out there. And it is Easter Sunday. And if you have been here before, I want to say welcome back. But if you've never been here, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to JAUSI Land, Jazz as you see it be. And this is where we have transformational coaching, deep clarity, and real conversations. And why jazz? Because jazz is the musical genre of life. It is a musical genre that has regular patterns infused with chaotic and forceful rhythms, all based in adaptability and improvisation. And isn't that just like life? We get in our regular patterns, and then here comes a forceful note. But when it's all put together, it comes out as this melodious, harmonious sound that everybody loves. And I'm your girl, Jazzy J. And the reason we're here today is when I was 12 years young, I had a traumatic experience, a negative traumatic experience when a family member came and asked me one day, what are you going to do when you die? And this family member, her religious coding was Jehovah's Witness, so she was witnessing. And the inference was, if I wasn't a part of this 144,000, that I was going to hell forever. And so that night I paced the floor, I cried, I cussed, I fussed, and I just didn't understand it. I was like, why do I have to be a Jehovah's Witness? I'm a Christian. I'm learning about Jesus. I love Jesus. What if I can't say I'm sorry before I die and I'm going to hell forever? And all of these things were running through my head. What kind of God does this? We can't even quantify eternity. After 3 years, I can't get out. But this is all the things that my 12-year young mind was toiling with. And that morning, I felt from within me what I can only describe as liquid love. And people, when I felt this, I knew it was God. And it was emanating from within me, inside me. And I said at that time, I said, I want to know. I want to know what this is, what this life thing is, what we're doing, what it's about. And so that's why we're here today. And today, on this Easter Sunday, when many people have gotten dressed up in their best, have gone to church, praise the Lord. Spirit told me today, come as you are. So, no makeup, no lashes, no outfits, none of that. Just come as you are. Because a lot of people are dressed up today and going in buildings today that are hurting. They look good, but they're hurting. It is because they're not their genuine, authentic self, which is God. So we're going to talk about that, okay? So, and we're doing a deep dive on egregores today. So I'm going to run through this. Always start out with the circumference of knowledge, because the question is, do you see okay? See okay. This space, our circumference of knowledge, everything we trust, believe, have faith in, everything that we think we know, is all in this space. So if this space is my circumference of knowledge, which most people focus on the space inside, then this room is what I don't know, what I don't have faith in, what I don't believe, and what I don't trust. And people, belief is right in the word. Because many beliefs be lies. That's a jazz note right there. Many beliefs be lies. Because what has happened is, and we'll talk about it, the coding has become a belief, and the code is a lie. Yeshua said it best. Your traditions nullify the truth. Your coding nullifies the truth. You can put that in today's vernacular. All right? So, that's that. Now, if you're here for the first time, please go back and watch the previous videos, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on breaking down everything that's here, because I really need to get to a certain place. Last week I talked about egregores, and I had a question from one of my subscribers about egregores. So we're going to talk about that mostly and what they are. Okay? And we're going to talk about again, everything that Source God is, we are here in the physical realm. So, this is another ancient text. It's called the Kabbalion, and it talks about energy, frequency, vibration, and the 7 basic principles: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Okay? But I'm going to focus on the mental part of it right now. Okay? So, the all is mind. The universe is mental. This is one of the 7 principles. I thought I had it. Okay, here we go. Mentalism. Maitland asserts that consciousness is the indispensable condition of existence. Matter is itself merely a mode of consciousness. Matter is itself merely a mode of consciousness. So we're going to talk about that. Now I know, oh man, I have left my markers. Hold on a second, y'all. I left my markers. Okay. So we all know the infinity symbol, right? And what this is movement. This is movement. So what I want you to imagine is that this is you, right? Right in the center of this movement. Okay. Need some eyes. And smiling because we know what's going on. All right. All right. So, we live on 3 planes. We've talked about this: spiritual, mental, physical. Okay? So, we can look at this as a pendulum of life. If we run this through here, y'all know the weight scale. You may have or may not have heard of the goddess Maya. And there's a feather that's put on the weight scale and your heart on the other. And the goddess Mayat, and there are 42 laws there, but our heart should be light as a feather, right? So this is going to go into the emotions, the fuel of the subconscious mind, why we're here, and all of that. Okay? So, if this is the weight scale here, This is infinity, source. We are souls, which is sources, outsourced, universal love. This is us. Okay. So let's look at this at the game. You see that lid on it? Okay. First book of the Bible. I'm going to go through this right quick. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This energy, this is the energy of God. God created the heavens, the spiritual realm. And the earth, physical realm. And I want you to be thinking about duality in this as well. So, this energy, this darkness, and I've said it before, close your eyes and you will see this, you will see no thing, you will see darkness. But the consciousness that is telling you that you see no thing is God, is source. Okay? So, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form. No form here. When you close your eyes, you don't see any form. You see limitless. You see vastness. If you want to see it in the earth, go outside at night. Don't focus on the stars and the moon if you can see it, but the space in between the stars. That's the darkness. That's the concealed, the secret. And it even said, when I looked it up, it said dull. Because just imagine if you were source. Pure love. It's energy, pure love. 1 trillion years go by, 2 trillion years go by, 3 trillion years go by. You're like, oh, okay. This is why we're not going to walk around heaven all day. Because that's dull. So, God says, I'm going to create heaven and earth. Why? Because while God is there for however long, while this energy is, God is like, oh, I have dimensions. I have beings I want to create. Angelic beings and galactic beings and human beings and animal beings and plant beings. Oh, I'll put all of them in the 3rd dimension. Then I got the 4th and the 5th and the 6th. So many dimensions. And so you saying in the game of life, while we playing, you're playing because the 3rd dimension is the lowest level. And you graduate from the 3rd dimension and go to another dimension where you don't have to come back to Earth. Earth is a school, people. This is the lowest dimension. This is the school where you learn how to elevate to another dimension of consciousness. But what does that take? That takes expansion of what? Your mind. Look at any Marvel movie. And what do humans want to do with folk that they find out got some extra powers? Control them. incarcerate them, even expose of them. That's what humans want to do who are tuned in to this matrix, to the third dimension, to the powers that be, to the ones that who have sold you the lie that the game is about competition, where the game is about collaboration. That's why life is a puzzle and life is a game. And in order to put all the pieces of a puzzle together, you must understand the rules of the game. Most people do not understand the rules of the game. That's why what you see going on in the world today is going on because of how human beings have diminished themselves to human bots because they're coded to the matrix mentality. So let's talk about it. So, the earth was without form. Without form. But when you close your eyes, limitless vastness, expanse, boundless energy. That is what is within you. That is what created all of this. Okay? Without form and void. There was nothing. Right? And darkness was on the face of the deep. Darkness was on the face. You're the face of God. I'm the face of God. Everything you see is God. That's why God is omniscient and omnipresent, because God is everything. God is this phone. God is this book. God is this board. God is this post-it. God is everything. Okay? And we are the face of God. We're just at different levels of consciousness. Darkness was over the face of the deep. We are the face of the deep. The deep, our bodies are 80% water, 60 to 80% water. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. Okay. So the Spirit of God is hovering over the face of the waters. That's us. So here we are. We come here. Can you see this in the frame? Down here. Okay, so we come here, male and female, as beings. In the game of life, we're IPCs, where we get a family name, we get an identity, a persona. This is what we're going to focus on tonight. We develop a personality which governs our personal reality, and then our culture. Cultures have a code. Okay, but we're gonna dive deep on persona. So you got the spiritual realm, you got the physical realm. All of this is the mind of God. Highest consciousness, lowest level of consciousness. Okay? But all of this is the mind of God. So what happens? What happens when we come here? I talked about it before. I'm not going to go way deep in it. But duality is everything. So when this energy that is love separated from itself to see itself, because I'm an individuation of God, you're an individuation of God consciousness, Your whole family is an individuation of God consciousness. We are all individuations of God consciousness. And we're co-create. We're the gods of this world. We're the co-creator gods of this world. So just like God created from its mind, source God created from its mind, its image, we create from our mind. Everything that you see, the room that you in, the house that you in, it came from somebody's mind. The curtains, it came from somebody's mind. The blinds, the lighting came from somebody's mind. This marker came from somebody's mind. This notebook came from somebody's mind. These earrings came from somebody's mind. Everything that you see came from somebody's mind. Just as Source God, the prime creator, we are co-creators in the earthly realm, in the lowest level of consciousness, in the earth school. We're all in school. Just like everybody uproar about the education system and this, that, and everything is about learning. But really the only thing that is not pushed in the matrix, we're in the matrix, we are here, and you gotta learn your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and da 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 da. But in Source's mind, the only thing you have to learn is yourself, because you are God. And it's so many people, just like on today, dressed up, looking good, families looking good, and in hell. Mentally, hell is a state of mind. But they look good out for people. See, God is God. That's why the scripture says God uses the simple things to confound the wise. The simple things. The simple thing is just knowing thyself. But most people don't know thyself, because when you come here like this, your God conscious mind is in full effect. We're all born genius. But the subconscious mind, the programmable conditioned mind, is also in play. And that's when all your family codes are uploaded, your culture codes are uploaded, and you develop a personality out of this. So we're going to talk about that. All right, let me see if I'm set up. So, here we go. Creation. God creates the 4 entities in the 3rd dimension. Right? And we are human beings. We're the 2nd level of highest consciousness in this realm. Now, what I'm saying, and within each of us, there is duality. So even gender, even though I'm in the female form, I have masculine and feminine energy. Those are energies. And both of those energies have attributes. When they are in balance, you find wholeness. That's why in the scripture, when the man was formed, it says, man shall not be alone. Adam wasn't lonely. He wasn't lonely. He was tending the garden. It was God that said, because Source God is saying that the duality, when you bring duality into balance, you become whole. So a male form has feminine and masculine energy. And you can be logical and analytical, but the nurturing and the sensitivity. That's why a lot of our young men are unaliving themselves, because one of the codes that's given to a young man, stop crying. You stop crying. Boys don't cry. Stop acting like a girl. All of that when they this age. So now you have grown men that have been coded not to cry, not to be nurturing, not to be sensitive at all. And because it's the code of the world, when they want to be vulnerable or sensitive, they are laughed at, chastised, told that they're not a man. And on the other side, females. I know a lot of females, their whole thing that they've been coded to do is to look for a man to take care of them, take care of their children, so on and so forth. So their whole life, they're growing up to make themselves look a certain way and be a certain way to attract a man. Not about finding love, but a man that he got a job. I done been in the conversations, y'all. I done been around the table with plenty of females. He got a job. He ain't got no job. What do he do? So it's that. He ain't been to college. What? He ain't got no degree. So you got all of that going on with female. What I tell females, I say everything you got on your list that you want a man, that you be it first. And when you're it, you will attract what you want. But no, you just want to makeup, hair, nails, go to the club, find somebody to pay your cell phone bill, your light bill, put something on your cash, all that. Instead of being analytical, looking at your bank account, taking care of your business. What is it in me that I love to do that I can take to the next level? But see, you looking for something external outside of you. So the gender roles have codes. And when you buy into that, then you're in a lower level of frequency. You're in a lower level of frequency. And it governs your mind. Now, why is God playing this game? What is the game? The game, I told you all, is hide and seek. This is the grand game of life. Just like in the beginning, the darkness was secret, concealed, hidden, dull, right? Here we are. That energy is within us. Source God is looking for the frequency, its frequency and its vibration here in the physical realm, in the earth. But because when we get here, we get so coded on what I just talked about, relationships, money, dreams, all of that, we get codes. And it's dull for us to get to know us. I'm going to say that again. It's dull and boring for us to get to know us. I remember when I was a child, we could not say, I'm bored. Go on outside and play. Because we didn't have all of these things, the distractions that we have now. We did not have all of them. Like, children are addicted to cell phones. Seeing babies in carts just walking around with a cell phone. And they're addicted to them. And I see 2-year-olds crying and hollering at the top of their lungs because somebody took their phone. We didn't have that. We had to go outside, and our imagination ran wild, and we were able to do things because we are all in the image nation, the imagination of God. You are a thought form of God. You, whatever your name is, are the individuation of God, of Source. God is a gamer. Look at how all the world is enamored with sports and games, card games and board games and casino games and video games. Enamored. We have people that come to blows over games. Talking about, and they ain't got no stock in the team, don't know nobody on the team. Really? Okay. Let's get back to it. So here we go. Hide and seek. And I know when I talk, people, I know how the subconscious mind works. I know how your brain works. God put all this in place. Because you cannot fool God. Right? And you cannot win this game. And it's not about winning. You cannot score in the game. You cannot score in this game, put points on the board, unless you're on the field. Okay? So what does all this have to do with what I want my life to look like? Because all of us have an image in our mind of what we want our life to look like. And our soul, Source's outsourced universal love, our soul knows. So we make a soul contract on the spiritual side to come to the physical realm to deposit the gifts, the talents that God has given us to come over here for humanity. But when we come, we get coded. So we're IPC. When we grow up and things are not making sense, things aren't lining up so much, the religion and all of that is something is off, we become an NPC, and everybody knows that's a non-playable character. So what that means in my framework is that things are not lining up like what you were told, how it's going to line up. Chaotic and forceful notes are coming in, and you don't know what to do. This is not what you were told. So now you're a non-playable character. Now your mind is saying, let's say, lose weight. But your body is like, nah, we're not doing that. Because your body is a whole system within itself. So what happens when we come here and we get coded, our subconscious mind gets uploaded with codes from the matrix. Once we get uploaded with the codes from the matrix, we develop a personality, our personal which governs our personal reality. So this is how we are. So if this is the pendulum, this is what our life looks like. Over here, we're saying we have a vision, an image of what we feel like our life looks like. What I want my life to be. Okay? All of this comes from source, because that is within you. This is a reason for the mental illness, because this is what happens when your soul knows. That's the consciousness that is within you. So when you are going against what it is your soul knows that you were here to do, now you're angry. Now you're frustrated. Now you're confused. And they got all these names. ADHD, bipolar, this, that, and the third. All of these come from your soul consciousness knowing why it's here and being here, having the image in your mind's eye, because it's always there. Why can't my bills be paid? Why can't I have more than enough? Why am I always struggling? Why my relationship not like this? What's going on? Why am I losing my car? Why is my car being repoed the second time? Why am I being evicted again? Your soul knows. You get over here, you get coded, and 95% of your thoughts, behaviors, and actions are made from your subconscious programming. Okay? So over here, this is what I want my life to be. This is what I don't want. This is matrix coding. This comes from matrix coding. So we're on a pendulum here. Right? So you're told Jesus is God, and follow Jesus, follow his teaching, everything that is, and Jesus is outside of you. Now I don't want to go deep dive on all of this, but there was a reason this was done. The reason that this was done is to keep you thrown off. The powers that be want to keep you thrown off because it keeps them in power. 1% of the population control all the wealth. Why do you think that is? And it's churches on every corner. Think about it now. Just think about it. And all these thousands of years that Jesus done came, and we Jesus. And look at the state of the world. But if you knew that you are the individuation of Source God, if you knew about energy, frequency, and vibration and how to tap in, because this all this is, they keep you off. All the distractions, all the news channels, all the radio stations, all the scrolling, all of this keeps you from knowing thyself, knowing who you are. Why? Because they want to keep you in fear. They know how you work. They know how the body works. They want to keep you in fight or flight. A fearful mind is a controllable mind. Even when you say, I was talking to my husband, I said, you know, God-fearing. People, they take pride in it. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a God-fearing woman. Why are you fearing you? Why would you fear you? We should be saying, I'm a God-loving man. I'm a God-loving woman. Because that is the wholeness of source, is love. But people, that's a code. God-fearing. Why you fear God and you God? You don't fear you. You're God. Now, what Yeshua, and I've broken this down before, about when God called in the light. We're the light that God called in. We're the sons of the Lord. We're the light bearers in the earthly realm. And when we looked up the waters of the deep, the amnion, Greek word, amnion, amniotic fluid, the same fluid that a baby is in the mother's womb. And when we broke that down of what that is, the vessel that the blood of a sacrificial lamb is caught. Come on now. We're in the cosmic womb of God. We are the vessels. This form is a vessel that the blood of a sacrificial lamb is caught. Those are the two dualities within us. We can choose to go the route of Lucifer, where in Ezekiel I read a couple of weeks ago, we trade our wisdom for splendor, the splendors of this world. Or we are the vessel that the blood of the sacrificial lamb is caught, the way of Yeshua. Jesus is a model, an ascended master. Jesus was real. But those are the two dualities within us. And we're to find the balance of those two energies. That's why the scripture said, be wise as the serpent, harmless as a dove. And people, you're God. I don't know. There were certain scriptures God gave me. Spirit gave me to let y'all know. I don't know where I put my cards, but one of the scriptures was Jeremiah. The one that everybody quotes. I know the plans that I have for you. God knows the plans that Source has for you because you're Source. the individuation. I told you all before about the data collectors, your senses. When we transition back to the spiritual side, if we come back, you get to see your whole life, the DVD of your life. And you get to feel how you made everyone else feel. Because remember, what is the fuel of the subconscious mind? Feelings. Why? Because in wholeness, where God was with love, that's all there is. Love. Right? There's no motion. Emotions are energy in motion. Source is the ultimate energy, is the only energy. And Lucifer and the devil, as he has put, the devil made me do it, and the demons and all of this and da 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 da. The devil is not equal to God. There is no equal to God. There is only God. So, emotions are energy in motion. So what is happening in this infinite loop is that God is playing this game. And let me get back to the senses because I haven't forgotten. So say I transition. The emotions that I felt when I went through betrayal, infidelity, domestic violence, bankruptcy, all of the things, right? The emotions, the negative emotions that I felt. And this is where alchemy comes in. And this is where the element that is God, that is within you, is fire, because fire is the only element that transmutes. It takes wood and turns it into ash and smoke. And anything that it burns, it turns it into ash. That's what we're here to learn to do. That's the school, to learn how to transmute negative energies and alchemize them. And then have the love and compassion for others who are on this journey. Because we all on this journey, baby, figuring out some heavy-ish. It's heavy for some folks. And I mean, everybody go through it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you got all the money, if you a Rockefeller or Walton or whatever. I don't care how much money you got, because money ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's an energy. But everybody who you think is got, they got it going on because they got this and they got on this design and that design, they driving in this car and that person and all of that, they got the same problems you got. They could just show up in a Rolls Royce instead of a Volkswagen. That's all. But we're all here to do the same thing. So this energy is constantly in motion. So I transition. So the energy in which I was able to transmute, when the next individuation of God, of source, is birthed in my family lineage, that's the data that source uses to bring to the next lineage in your family. I know it's a lot. I know we in the Yellow Submarine. But this is how the game is played. So if say you don't transmute, say you die and you transition and you weren't able to transmute. You get over there, you look, oh man, I didn't fulfill my soul contract. I didn't do this. And then you also get to see what Jeremiah, I think it's 29, says. The plans. You get to see the version of you that was source, that what you were supposed to do while you was over here. So what happens? You say, man, I need to go back. I need to go back. I got to do that. So you come back again. You could be the iteration of your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, or great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. So you see the form, but the spiritual essence we don't see of each other. We see the form. And the only way we can determine the spiritual essence in the mind is spending time. Is communication. That's how. So, this energy is in constant motion. And I'm going to go a little bit over tonight. I was a little late coming in. So that this is how the energy is flowing. Now, we're all in the mind of God. God creates. We're co-creators. We create things, but we also create something else that comes from our personality. And what we create, we're thought forms of God. And egregores are our thought forms. So an example of an egregore is a thought form when we come here. So one of the codes that I got when I was little, and I'm sure, and this is a culture code for black folk, that you have to be 10 times better than our Caucasian counterparts. You have to do everything better. Be better. Because the code is, because of the history that we're inferior to white folk. That they're somehow better in the history, the slavery, all of that trauma that we have. So an egregore is a thought form that says that. So on white folks' side, you may have grown up in a family that believes that they're better, and just because historical, right? Black folks, having to be 10 times better, having to always excel, always go above and beyond, so on and so forth. Those are egregores. Those are thought forms that we create. If I had money, I would be able to do this. That's a thought form. Because people with money who are able to do certain things, they don't understand this. So the mind is where we all live. We're thought forms in the mind of God. We come here, we're able to create thought forms. They're gender thought forms. It's cheaper to keep them. People are in toxic relationships right now because of egregores. I don't care what he do, as long as he take care of my house and my children. Egregores. So all of these thought forms, we're creating these thought forms. And what keeps the thought forms going is us. It's what we talk about. It's the actions that we perform to keep them going. Like today, Easter. So a lot of people doing a lot of stuff today, coloring eggs and making Easter baskets and getting Easter outfits. Everybody came up today. The hairstylists and the barbershops came up. The nail salons came up. The boutiques came up. The hat makers came up. The church came up. All today because of a thought form about this day. Death and resurrection. And see, that's what's so powerful about going from what do I want my life to be? What do I see? My life, my vision, my mind sight of what I want my life to be, and what I don't want. The death and resurrection, but everybody filled up the churches today and talked about the death and resurrection of Yeshua. But see, what I assume was not preached on today is that you and I, everybody here, should be going through a death and resurrection of our low frequency vibration consciousness all the time. See, you have to die to the old you to evolve and elevate to the next version of you. Energy in motion. You are energy in motion. So the egregores, the egregores don't want to die. Because they are psychic entities that do not want to die. So this is what happens. You can say, let's take the losing weight. I'm saying losing weight because that's what I'm passionate about. Those who don't know the story, I graced the scale at nearly 300 pounds. And when I found out what obesity was doing for our youth, my husband and I, we've lost combined over 250 pounds. And we're still on the journey. But when we started on the journey and you say, oh my God, I need to lose weight, I need to get healthy, I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. Your mind says that. And this how you know you're out of control and a death and resurrection need to take place. Because your mind says that, right? And you say, oh, I'm going to start Monday. But then Monday, your friend bring a pound cake to the house. And your body be like, we'll start Tuesday. Or you say, I'm going to go to the gym. And the next day it's raining cats and dogs. You be like, it's raining outside, I'll wait. See, your body start talking because your subconscious mind is now, your body is running on autopilot from the subconscious conditioned programming of the codes that were uploaded. So this your mind now. You say, I know. Or you could go to the doctor and the doctor tell you, oh, you got pre-diabetes or your blood pressure high, you need to lose weight, you need to get out there, da da da. And you're like, okay. and come right out the doctor's office and go right to the fast food restaurant. Because your body is programmed, right? So the powers that be, they know about programming because they're going to keep you programmed. They're going to keep you programmed on what they got going on, buying into what they got going on, never being still, never being in seclusion, being alone. Because your subconscious mind don't ever stop talking. It's talking right now. Here she go with this again. The Grigors don't want to die. And so this is what happens. When you get on this path and you say, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And this is like will. So even your Bible says, not thy will. How's it go? How's it go, producer, that scripture? Not my will, but thy will be done. Right? Not my persona, because that's duality. Your persona, your developed personality, ego, is who the conflict is with. The energy conflict is with. And you not knowing, not tapping into, not tuning into the channel of the mind of God or who you are. That's why they don't want you to know you God. They want you to keep it something external from you. Because if you tap in and tune in to the fact that you are God, you are the infinite and finite form. You are not just the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in one drop. I think Rumi said that. Baby, if you catch hold to that, it is no thing that will be kept from you. Because now when you're tuned in to you, you get these nudges and these prompts to do certain things. It ain't about running around with all the action. Because that's another code. You got to work hard. You got to work hard to get this. You got to work hard to get that. That's a code. Because the people that work the hardest have way less than the people who had the most. Did you catch that? I know people working 2, 3, and 4 jobs. And you got people who ain't doing none of that, making tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands more dollars than the person that's working hard. See, that's a code. Because they don't tell you, the education system is not here to develop what's already in the child. You come here with it. You come here genius. But do they teach you about emotional intelligence? No. Do they teach you and ask you, what do you love to do? Is the education system set up to see what a child loves to do and focus in on what a child loves to do? That's the gifts and talents. But we just herd them around You go here to learn the math. You go there, you learn the English. You go. Everybody told you. Everybody telling you what to learn. Telling you what you got to study. Giving you these books that keep you coded. And we see that. I saw something the other day online. Young man in Africa that, and I watched them videos too, y'all. It's like people living in these countries and you think they don't have, I mean, they taking stuff that we throw away and they are creating amazing things. That's what comes with knowing thyself. But because we want to keep this system going and keep it as it is and keep the people in power who are in power, we don't want you to know this. So the egregores, when you start to make a move and all hell start breaking loose. See, this is because the egregores, the psychic entities, they do not want to die. So what happens is when you start to make these moves, everything, it seems like all these chaotic and forceful notes start coming in. Trying to knock you off, knock you out. That's because the egregores do not want to die. People in your circle tell you ain't nothing. You ain't going, that's crazy. Ain't nobody going to do that. Ain't nobody going to listen to you. Ain't nobody going to buy that. Ain't nobody, all of that comes in. And see, what Source wants to know, because Source say it is that. And if you heard me talk before about the ice and the steam, when you speak it, life and death in the power of the tongue. God said, let there be light. We have that same power. Let there be light, and there was light. And it is so. So that's really how you pray. The begging prayers that we're taught how to pray are low frequency. Low out there. They ain't even heard, just begging. That is not a frequency. You call in. And it is so. But what happens is because we're in, remember I told you this is ice. This is ice cube. This over here is the steam. And here is water, the flow. So, in our mind sight, when we see the life that we know that our soul contract is here, when we see that, and the physicality of what's going on in our life is not manifested, it's not showing that. When we speak it in our image, it's done. But because ice is hard to bite through and get through, it's dense. An ice cube is dense. It's done over here. But it takes time to reach the manifestation in the physical realm. And while you're reaching this manifestation in the physical, the egregores is going crazy. The psychic entities that have been created that is talking to your subconscious mind the whole time. This some bullshit. None of this shit work. And you're not understanding, or overstanding what's happening. So you stop. So you give up. So you don't show up. And see what happens is when you tap in, Source is giving you the nudge. It's something in your spirit. My spirit telling me to do this. My spirit telling me to do that. Those are the things that you are to follow through on. But your body kick in from the subconscious mind. I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing this today. And because it's programmed, and you succumb to the programming, then you got people around you telling you that, the people who supposed to love you, the people closest to you. And I told you, everybody you're around is a frequency. And just like the psychic entity, we used to say this in network marketing, if you were the sharpest knife in the drawer, you need another drawer. But those people around you do not want you to leave because they're comfortable there. And comfort is a killer. So with that, people, I'm going to end it. I know I'm over my time. But I wanted to get this point across. Egregores are psychic entities, thought forms that we create. We are the thought forms of the prime source God entity. We are the gods of this world, and we create psychic thought forms. And that don't want to die. And this is why if you go talk to people, like if I talk to people about what I know and all that, I don't try to do that, but it's not received. It's not heard. I've talked to a few people, a couple of my good friends who are Christians, but we don't talk about this no more. Because there ain't no need, but they know I don't believe like they believe. Like Jesus is God. Jesus is a ascended master. Jesus is a model. Yeah, but he's not God. I'm God. They know that. But because of the coding, you not going to, people going to argue you down because the Egregores, these thought forms, they powerful and they don't want to die, just like we don't want to die. But we don't die. The form dies. But we don't die. We're eternal beings. We just go back to source. The individuation of this identity, of this spirit being, of my spirit being. So, just want to drive this home. It's been a pleasure, as always. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful day. This is Jazzy J approved, and I say jazz love, jazz do it, jazz on the journey, and always, and I do mean always, remember in life to jazz as you see it, lovers. Mwah.